All right. Hello everyone. I am now live. I'm gonna wait for a little bit to see if the live chat will get filled up with people, and then we'll get started with today's stream. So just as always, do inform me if you guys could hear me. Hello, codename V5. Welcome. So yeah, if you could hear me, do let me know. Well, to be honest, codename V5, I'm not really going to be getting Kirby Air Riders. I did not put that game as one of the games I'll be getting for the Switch 2. As of right now, the only games I'm getting for the Switch 2 is Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. That's only if I do end up getting my Switch 2, as I did put it as for my Christmas list. So the game looks fine, but it isn't really piquing my interest. So the only Kirby games that I will most likely focus on is um is going to be it will most likely be the mainline games. So yeah. Well, to be honest, Disco Bear Random Mario Songs Volume 7 isn't missing. It's because that the if you didn't see the video, if you haven't seen it, it's the video file is corrupted. So that meaning that like the first half of the video it plays fine, and then it just the rest of the video is just corrupted. So I privated the videos, so that's the reason why you don't see it. I did uploaded it, but it's corrupted, so that's why you don't see it on the channel. All right. Anyways, I'm going to get started here. So before I begin the stream, which is going to be the Powerpuff Girls Powerfueled episode list, where I go through the episodes that hasn't been released since its cancellation. Yeah. So I will announce the next set of streams that are going to be happening this year and for the first half of 2026. So my next stream is going to be the last stream for 2025, and that will be in December. And that stream is going to be the next part of the flip decks cards, where I'll be reading out the flip deck cards. That's going to be on cards 121 to 140. So that'll be in December. And then starting next year and in 2026, the first stream for 2026 is going to be oh yeah, I remember it. It's going to be the first part of the Super Mario Advance instruction booklets, where I'll be reading the instruction booklet for Super Mario Advance 1. I'll be reading the instruction booklet for that game. That'll be in January of 2026. That'll be the first stream I'll host for 2026. And then after that stream, there is another stream idea that I have that I will be doing, and it is regarding to a series of tweets that I did on my second Twitter account, known as the ABCs of Mario. So yeah, so the ABCs of Mario was a tweet series that I did over on my Toad Plus Mario Nations channel, where I go through all the letters of the alphabet, listing 10 Mario characters off of that letter. So yeah, I will that is going to be another stream I will be doing in 2026. And then after that, the remaining streams for 2026 will most likely be myself finishing up the flip deck cards and the return of Super Mario List. So yeah, that is going to be throughout 2026 is going to be the return of Mario List, going through the rest of the flip deck cards, and I will do more instruction booklet streams. So yeah, that is going to be for 2026. So thought I'd let you guys know on that. Hey there, I wanted to know that the live stream was Blues Journey impersonating me. Oh, okay. All right, I saw your Mario meets Powerpuff Girls video. I love it. Well, thank you, TGC. I mean, to be honest, M64 Bros. I'm not all too worried about that because I'm used to impersonators. So, I mean, thanks for informing me, but I'm not all that upset about it because I've dealt with impersonators before, so I already know how to handle this. So I'm not all that um upset about it or too concerning for it. So thought I'd let you know on that. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the stream. All right, so here is the episode list. So episodes 1 through 6 have already been made and released. And so yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and start off with Camp Fuzzy. So this was the episode that I was producing in 2024 until I canceled the series because I made a whole video about that. If you guys want to check that out, just pull up a tab on your computer or on your phone and just look up Camp Fuzzy canceled, and then you'll get the context of why I canceled the Camp Fuzzy episode from the Powerfueled series. So yeah, the basic description of this episode is that the Powerpuff Girls are sent away to Fuzzy Lumpkin's cabin for the summer and turn the place into a summer camp. So yeah, originally, if you've seen the clip that I released for the episode starts off with the girls arriving to Camp Fuzzy's cabin from the professor. So the professor was driving the Powerpuff Girls to Fuzzy Lumpkin's cabin for the summer. He's just relaxing on his lawn chair, and when the girls show up, he pulls out his shotgun, and then that's when the girls let him know that they're spending the summer at his cabin. And yeah, so they end up going inside of his log cabin, and that's where the clip that I shared had ended. So what I actually had in mind for this episode was that I was going to feature maybe some of the girls' like friends from school to show up at Fuzzy Lumpkin's cabin for the summer camp idea. And some of the ideas that I had was like your typical camp out activities like a sack race, or maybe the girls like play in a swimming pool or something. So those were some of the ideas that I had for Camp Fuzzy when I was developing the episode or coming up with ideas outside of that. So yeah, those were some of the ideas that I had for the Camp Fuzzy episode. And yeah, I'm not gonna like explain the episodes like from start to end because since they haven't been made because the series got canceled. And yeah. All right, so moving on to episode 7B, a Little Vampire Lost. So in this episode, the Powerpuff Girls help a lost vampire child finds its parents on a foggy night. And now with this episode, this was going to be my second Halloween themed episode, even though the episode doesn't take place on Halloween, but it is a Halloween or spooky centered episode. And so yeah, the episode centers around the Powerpuff Girls finding a vampire child while they were out battling monsters in the cemetery. Yes, as a matter of fact, one of the ideas that I had was that the episode starts off with the Powerpuff Girls at a cemetery fighting off zombies and like skeletons, and then after they leave the cemetery, that's where I had the vampire child appears, and then he basically follows the girls to their house, and then maybe like when the girls wake up the next day, they notice that there's a vampire sleeping in their room, and so then that's where the girls figured out or notices that the vampire is like a little child, and so they help him find his parents on a foggy night. Oh yeah, the episode takes place at night, so yeah, but yeah, another idea that I have for the episode was that the Powerpuff Girls themselves get turned into vampires in the episode. Like maybe they disguise as vampires, or the moon at night turns them into vampires. That's one of the ideas that I had. Well, the main idea that I had was that the Powerpuff Girls turns into vampires, and then I also made characters of the parents of the vampire child. Like as a matter of fact, I will show that off real quick. Yeah, so let me pull up. Yeah, let me actually show you guys the designs of the vampires' parents real quick. All right, so let me screen share it real fast. So let me remove this, and I'll screen share it real quick. Yeah, let me stop screen sharing. All right, here we go. So right here, this was going to be the design of the father vampire. Yeah, he's kind of has like this white skin color. Well, obviously I found this in the toolbox of Roblox Studio, and I modified it by adding the vampire face. I'm not entirely sure if this face was already added to the model when I found it, but I might have had modified it to add the face to it. So here's what the father vampire was going to look like. And then you have the mother vampire, who has the same bat wings. She has the black hair and everything, and yeah, and she wears red and black. So these are what the parents are going to look like. And then of course you have the vampire child himself, which is in the title card itself. Oh wait, never mind. It's actually here. Yeah, here it is. This is what the vampire child would have looked like in the episode. You got the devil horns, you got the white skin color, and you got like this stitching on the body, or the shirt, if you will, the chest area. And yeah, so that's the overall idea that I had for the Lost, or the Little Vampire Lost episode. All right, I'll stop sharing and I will look back. All right, let's see. Most favorite episode on your series that you loved working on, Powerfueled? Well, I have to say my favorite episodes will most likely be Brother Buster and Bubbles in Space. I really like Brother Buster, mainly the idea of the Powerpuff Girls having a younger brother. I really like that idea that I came up with. And I also like the climax where the Powerpuff Girls kills Buster after causing problems. And I liked Bubbles in Space mostly for the concept of the episode of Bubbles going on a galactic adventure, trying to save a group of rabbit aliens. So yeah, those were some of my two favorite episodes of the series. All right, moving on. We'll go ahead and screen share again, because I'm looking at the live chat right now, and there really isn't that much interesting stuff being shared out. All right, so moving on to episode 8, Prize Octi. When Princess Morbuck steals Octi for her doll collection, Bubbles does whatever it takes to claim him back. So originally with this episode, the idea was the exact same, where a princess steals Octi, but the idea that I had originally was that she was going to sell him online, and you have to like do like an auction to you have to do like an auction in order to claim him back. But I really didn't like the idea that much, so I went with the standard route, where Princess steals Octi and then she keeps him at her house, and so Bubbles basically breaks into Princess's house, and then the whole episode was going to have this big climatic fighting sequence where we got Princess and Bubbles fighting each other to get Octi back. So that's the overall idea that I had for the prized Octi episode. And yeah, so that's really all I had in mind for the episode. All right, so moving on to Buttercup's Way. So in this episode, Buttercup is fed up of being bossed around when it comes to fighting crime and decides to do stuff her way. So this episode was going to be like your typical Powerpuff Girls episode where the girls are out fighting monsters, and the Buttercup is getting tired of Blossom like telling her to do stuff like oh, you should fight the monsters this way, and then Buttercup's like, no, I don't want to fight the monsters that way. I want to do it my way. So Buttercup tries to fight the monsters her own different way, and it ends up backfiring on her. So that was the whole overall description and ideas that I had for the episode. And yeah, this was actually the season 1 finale episode. Yeah, because there's actually 8 episodes per season. So this was going to be the season 1 finale for the Powerfueled series. All right, so moving on to season 2. All right, so first up we have is Mojo Dojo. So in this episode, the Powerpuff Girls take karate lessons from Mojo Jojo when a black belt criminal is let loose. So yeah, this was going to be a karate episode for the Powerpuff Girls series that I had in mind, where a black belt ninja is out on the loose in Townsville. So when the Powerpuff Girls tries to fight the black belt criminal, they end up getting defeated by him because he is way too powerful. So the girls decides to get an advice from Mojo, and so Mojo basically gives them karate lessons to fight off the black belt criminal. And yes, just as the episode alone, there was going to be like a montage of the girls learning karate from Mojo, and I actually did found this really cool design of Mojo in a white black belt kind of outfit, but because there isn't that much official artwork of the Powerpuff Girls characters, that was the main reason why I canceled the series in the first place, because that there really wasn't that much artwork of the characters online that I could use for the series. So I ended up canceling the series because it was very limiting of what I could do with it, and I don't like to be limiting or limited when I work on my series, which I no longer do anymore because I'm focusing that for other things. All right, so moving on to episode 9B, Monkey in the House. So Mojo Jojo must live with the Powerpuff Girls when a rainstorm floods his lair. So yeah, this episode, it was going to be about Mojo living with the Powerpuff Girls when he was sleeping in his house that night, and then it was storming outside, and then for whatever reason, the rainstorm floods his house, and so he has to live with the Powerpuff Girls. And this episode was actually going to be my version of the child fearing episode, where the Powerpuff Girls takes advantage of Mojo, like because he's living with them. The girls will do whatever it takes to annoy Mojos. Like one of the ideas that I had was that the Powerpuff Girls wants lunch, so Mojo Jojo ends up taking them to this fast food restaurant, and then he pulls up to a drive-through window, and then he then asks the girls what they want from the restaurant, and then they just start yelling at him. Yeah, that was one of the ideas that I had. I thought it was really funny, and and then another idea that I had was the Powerpuff Girls asking Mojo to read them a story, and so the story that I had in mind was titled "The Three Stupid Girls," which was supposed to be a parody of the Three Little Pigs. That's another idea that I had. As a matter of fact, I actually have a concept of that scene, so I will share that real quick. So give me a minute as I pull it up. All right, let's see. All right, so if I scroll down here, there is a concept screenshots that I made. So yeah, right here is the concept screenshot for the monkey and the house episode titled "The Three Stupid Girls" by Mojo Jojo. So you got the girls in these skirts and everything, and yeah, it was supposed to be a parody of the Three Little Pigs, but told in the perspective of Mojo and the Powerpuff Girls. So I thought that was really funny. And yeah. All right, so that is episode 9A. All right, so let me screen share again. Hello, Desiri Bird. Welcome. All right, so 9B. Oh, we already did 9B. Never mind. Sorry. So yeah, we're moving on to episode 10 now. So yeah, 10A is going to be titled Vaccine Overload. Bubbles becomes nervous about being vaccinated when flu season strikes Townsville. This episode was going to be centered around flu season in Townsville, where the girls had to get vaccinated, and because Bubbles is like the youngest of the girls, she becomes very nervous about being vaccinated. And as a matter of fact, I actually had this really cool sequence where Bubbles is sleeping, and then she has a nightmare of this very evil doctor giving her way too much vaccine. And yeah, so I actually had this whole sequence of Bubbles having this nightmare, and then after that, um, there was going to be a part in the episode where when the girls actually do go to the doctors to get their vaccines, Bubbles freaks out when she sees the syringe, and she ends up running out of the hospital, and so and then the whole episode turns into this one giant chase of the Powerpuff Girls trying to get Bubbles back to get her vaccine. And yeah, that was the whole idea that I had for the episode. But yeah. So now moving on to a 10B, Don't Feed the Doggo. In this episode, the Powerpuff Girls must take care of the mayor's new dog for the weekend and warn them not to feed him sugary treats. So yeah, very very explanatory episode. This was going to be about the girls taking care of the mayor's dog for the weekend, and so when the mayor basically gives him all of these directions of how to take care of his dog and everything, so of course they end up breaking the rule about them not feeding the dog sugary treats. They end up feeding him it, and then the dog turns into this evil monster creature. As a matter of fact, I do have a concept screenshot of that. So yes, I will be sharing that again. So I will stop screen sharing, and I will pull up the screen for that. All right, so let me show you guys the concept screenshot. So it's right here. So you have the dog in the kitchen, and then you got the evil eyes and everything, and you got Bubbles witnessing it because so yeah so I think the idea that I had in mind was like maybe it's like in the middle of the night, the girls are asleep, they hear noises, well Bubbles hear noises, and she goes downstairs to investigate, and that's where she sees the dog with the evil eyes because he was eating sugary treats and everything. So that's the idea that I had in mind for the episode. All right, so that is episode 10 of the series. The Siri Bird, if you want to hear my thoughts on the hankering, just watch my review of the episode because I'm not going to sit here and answer SpongeBob questions because yes, I know I am. I kind of don't like. Are you are you talking about the Powerpuff Girls in general? Or are you talking about my fan series of it? Because this is a fan series based off of the Powerpuff Girls, and you got to be more specific with it. Do you not like the show in general, or my fan interpretation of it? All right. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and move on. All right. So we got episode 11. So 11A is titled "A Blossom and the Dragon." A Blossom's bedtime story of an imaginary dragon becomes to reality, and everyone in Townsville sees it as a threat. So yeah, this episode was going to is was going to most likely be a slice of life, a more um a tamer episode, where it's basically about Blossom hearing a bedtime story of an imaginary dragon, and then when she wakes up the next morning, she it realizes that her dragon story had came to life, and then when Blossom and then the other girls takes into consideration or finds it as a friendly creature, um, everyone in Townsville sees it as a threat. I actually had this whole storyline of, I think, like the government basically trapping the dragon and taking it away to like a faraway island, out to a so yeah, the idea that I had was that the government takes the dragon away and seals him up and takes him far away from Townsville, and so the girls have to infiltrate where the dragon was kept held at, and then to rescue it. And yeah, so that's the overall idea that I had for the episode. And yeah, so this was going to be a fun episode to work on if I had to work on it, but that never saw the light of day. So yeah, and yes, I do have a concept screenshot of it. So yeah, for these episodes that I read out, if they do have a concept screenshot, I will share it with you guys. So I will be sharing the concept screenshot for the episode. I'll ask more questions on EB. Okay, but I'm not gonna promise you I'll be doing streams over there. So I mean, if you have a certain question about any episodes that I reviewed, I've reviewed them. Code name. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if you were in a previous stream before, but yes, I've had played Mario Kart Wii. I've played it because I've told this story before that one of my friends came over. He owned Mario Kart Wii, and I think he brought it over one time, and we played it. But yes, I had played Mario Kart Wii before. I had played it. Okay, that's fine if you forgot. But yes, I've had played Mario Kart Wii before, but I don't own it. I had played it, but I don't own the game. So no, I've had played it before. Yes, I had played Mario Kart Wii. All right, let me go ahead and show off this concept screenshot real fast of a Blossom and the Dragon. All right, so yeah, it's one of the earlier concept screenshots. So yeah, here it is. So you got this fuzzy green dragon. That's the imaginary dragon, and you got the girls playing with it, obviously, since that's what the episode is about. But yeah. All right, moving on to 11B. I'll just pull up the screen share real quick. All right, so we got Lost at Sea. A boat trip turns into a disaster when the professor's map sends them to a dangerous island. So yeah, overall, this episode is centered around the Powerpuff Girls going on a trip with the professor on a ship. The ship then takes them to a dangerous island, and then the island is filled with monsters and creatures, and so the girls, along with the professor, has to survive on this island and figure out a way to get out. So yeah, that's the overall concept of the episode. Yeah, some ideas I might have came up with, like I don't know, maybe I'll have a scene like the girls like exploring the island, and then they see these monstrous creatures, and then they try to fight it off. Yeah, that's one idea that I probably could have came up with if the episode were to become a thing. And yeah, so that's really all I'll add to the thing. But yeah. All right, so next up is 12A, a radio cup. When Buttercup is offered to be interviewed on live radio, she must face the consequences with corporate greed. So this episode is very self-explanatory. Buttercup is offered to be interviewed about her fighting crime and everything, and the I think the guy the guy offering the interview basically wants to like make profit off of Buttercup, maybe make merchandise because of her popularity and everything, and so because of that, Buttercup doesn't take the idea very likely. So there was going to I think one of the ideas I had, like maybe I'd had a Buttercup like maybe trying to escape from the radio station of where she's being interviewed and maybe like fights off the owner of the radio station. But yes, I do have a design of the character in which his name is, give me a minute, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna find it real fast and then I'll put Little Ricky. That was gonna be the name of the character. So yeah, I will show it off. Well, the Cerebur, the best rainy day adventure ever it is my favorite season 2 episode of the Powerpuff Girls, and my favorite part of the episode is where, the whole episode was very funny, but if I had to pick a favorite part, I'll just probably pick the scene where Buttercup says, "I need to punch," and then when she tries to punch Bubbles, she starts crying. I thought that was funny, and I also found the scene of Bubbles, well, not Bubbles, it was Blossom and Buttercup arguing about who will be Bubbles, and then Bubbles was like, "I'll be Bubbles," and then they say, "You can't," and then she starts crying again. So those were my favorite moments of the episode. All right, let me show off this little Ricky character real quick. Yeah, let me stop sharing because I forgot to hit that button. All right, so here's the little Ricky character. He was going to be the main antagonist slash radio guy who offers the interview for Buttercup. Yeah, this was the model that I found, and then I obviously tweaked it a little bit. But yeah, this is what his design was supposed to look like. All right. So next up is going to be 12B, short fused. Professor Utonium takes Bubbles to a psychiatrist when her anger reaches outrageous proportions. So yeah, this episode was going to be my version of Bubble Vicious, where, it's not, as in, the reason why I say it's my version of Bubble Vicious is because that in that episode, Bubbles wanted to prove to everyone that she is the toughest. But this episode is mostly about Bubbles like experiencing very outrageous anger, like throughout the whole episode. Bubbles is trying to do stuff, and then it frustrates her to the point where her anger makes she gets very angry to the point that causes violence. And so the professor takes Bubbles to a doctor to talk out her anger and everything. Like, one of the ideas that I had was that Bubbles was probably like at school, and then she like beats the crap out of a student, and that's where the professor takes Bubbles to a psychiatrist. But yeah, that's one of the ideas that I had. But the whole episode has a series of events. Bubbles is doing things, and she gets very angry to the point that it results in the violence. So that's the whole idea that I had around short fused. All right, so moving on to Scaredy Puffs. So this is 13A. And yes, this episode is a pun on the word scaredy pants or scaredy cat or whatever. Not scaredy pants. That's the SpongeBob Halloween episode from season 1. It's supposed to be a pun on the word scaredy cat. Mojo Jojo disguises as a ghost to scare the Powerpuff Girls in their home after they watch a horror film. So basically the girls watch a horror film, they become scared of the film when they're because yeah, so they see a horror film, they get scared of it, and then Mojo Jojo uses their fear just to scare the girls basically. So yeah, it's a pretty basic episode, but yeah, I don't have any concept screenshots for this episode, but that's the overall description that I have for the episode. Excuse me. All right, so moving on to episode 13B, Perfect Attendance. Fearing that she'll lose everything, the Powerpuff Girls must help Princess Morbucks arrive at school on time. So yeah, again, this is another slice of life, not much of a threat episode, where it's mainly centered around the Powerpuff Girls and Princess trying to help her arrive at school on time. So yes, it wasn't going to be all that interesting, but it was an idea that I had for an episode for the series. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and check back at the live chat here. My favorite was Mime for a Change. Oh, that's a good episode. That's a really good episode. All right, so next up we got episode 14A, Shadow Play, which I do have a concept screenshot for. Shadow copies of the Powerpuff Girls appear across Townsville, and it's up to the real girls to find the culprit behind it. So yeah, the episode. So yeah, the idea that I had for this episode is that I think it was like a rift or like a dark mirror that appears in Townsville that triggers the shadow copies of the Powerpuff Girls. And so the episode basically starts off with that. So the shadow Powerpuff Girls goes around Townsville. Everyone in Townsville mistakes them as the real Powerpuff Girls, and they end up causing problems. And when the real girls show up, that's where even more problems arise. So that's where the girls have to investigate of what's causing the town to turn against them. All right, let me go ahead and show you guys this concept screenshot that I had for the episode. I really didn't like that episode. Codename V5. I really didn't like Feel Me, See Me, Know Me. I mean, it was. I mean, it is a interesting episode because the whole episode was supposed to be like a parody of a musical, but I just really didn't like the episode all that much. But yeah. All right, let me show you guys the concept screenshot for Shadow Play. I think there was 2 concept screenshots I've made for the episode. All right, so here's the first one. The first concept screenshot features the main villain behind the shadow copies of the Powerpuff Girls, being the Dark Phantom. You got him down here, and you got the shadow clones of the Powerpuff Girls up here. So that's the first concept screenshot of the episode. And the other one, which I should have here somewhere. Oh wait, I actually uploaded it to my DeviantArt. Yeah, let me pull up my DeviantArt because I actually uploaded it to there. So yeah, let me scroll through my DeviantArt until I find it. Yeah, it is going to be a while till we find it. But yes, I do have a DeviantArt if you guys would like to watch me on DeviantArt. This is my new form of social media. Yeah, I'm trying to find that concept screenshot for the episode, which should be close. Like it should be close. Yeah, it might be on page 10. But I think it's just showing. All right, let's keep on finding it. Yeah, I know it's here, but I haven't got around to seeing it yet. So and I could just look it up, instead of having to just scroll through it until I find it. All right, page 23. Might be on page 24 then. Oh no, that's everything. You know what? I'll just no hold on there. Yeah, I'm trying to find the concept screenshot for the episode because I know it's here. Okay, here it is. All right, so here's the other concept screenshot. You have the actual sequence itself of them about to fight the shadow Powerpuff Girl clones, and you got the Dark Phantom up here. So yeah, the climax takes place inside the mirror that they found that actually reveals the Dark Phantom. So yeah, this is the other concept screenshot I've made for the episode. Yeah, it's called A Battle of the Shadows. Yeah, I really do like this little design, this little art I've made here. So yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so that's all I wanted to share for Shadow Play. Yes, Codename. I've already played Triple Deluxe. I did. I reviewed it. I played it and I reviewed it. So yeah, I've already played Triple Deluxe already. All right, so next up is Monster Cake, which I do have a concept screenshot. The Powerpuff Girls bakes a cake for Professor Utonium's birthday and adds a deadly ingredient to the concoction. And you guys should already know what that ingredient is. So yeah, a monster cake. This episode is very self-explanatory. It's Professor Utonium's birthday. The Powerpuff Girls wants to bake a cake for him, and they add an ingredient which turns the cake into a deadly monster. And so the monster wreaks havoc in Townsville, and it is up to the girls to stop the monstrous cake from terrorizing the city. And yes, I do have a couple of concept screenshots for it. Well, not a couple. There's only one of them, but yes, I will show it off very quickly. So yeah, I'll stop screen sharing again and actually pull it up. Oh yeah, real quickly, this knight right here, he was going to be in the Blossom and the Dragon episode because this was actually one of the executioners. Because in the episode, Blossom and the other girls ends up rescuing the imaginary dragon from his prison, and then these knights shows up to basically stop them from escaping. All right. Now let me actually show you guys the concept screenshot for Monster Cake, which is right here. So yes, in the episode, you got the Powerpuff Girls battling these little cupcake minions, and you have the main Monster Cake villain right here, which looks a little goofy, but that was the point of it. You got the weird eyebrows, you got the teeth, you got the birthday candles up here, and you got the Powerpuff Girls battling cupcake monsters. Yeah, this episode in a way is kind of similar to Beat Your Greens from the actual Powerpuff Girls series, where that episode centers around the Powerpuff Girls fighting off broccoli aliens. That was from the second season of the Powerpuff Girls, and yeah, so yeah, that's Monster Cake. All right, let's see here. No, I don't watch Phantom Strider anymore. Code name. I don't watch his channel anymore. What are you talking about? What the heck is THF? I don't know that show. I don't watch the only show I watch is SpongeBob. So I don't know what THF means. I don't know who Beaker Man is. I don't know who that person is. So no, I don't know that. I don't know that person. All right. I don't watch Happy Tree Friends. I don't watch that show. That web series. All right. So next up is MojoCon. This is episode 15A. The villains of Townsville host a convention honoring Mojo Jojo, and the girls go on the case to silence the disturbance. All right, you guys. I'm gonna stop here for a little bit, and I'm gonna take a break real fast to check the mailbox to make sure if the mail hasn't came while I was streaming. But yeah, so I will be right back for a second, and then I will continue the rest of the stream. So you guys could chill for a little bit as I return. So give me a minute. All right, I am back. All right, so let's go ahead and discuss MojoCon really quickly. So yeah, the episode centers around the villains being him, Fuzzy, and Princess hosting a convention honoring Mojo, and because it's causing a disturbance, the girls try to stop it basically. So I don't know. I really don't have any ideas of what I could have done with this episode. Like maybe I probably could have had a scene like maybe well, yeah, it's mainly about the villains honoring Mojo. It's like a convention. Like they have like Mojo t-shirts, memorabilia, and all that stuff. And maybe I'll probably have a scene of the girls like trying to play along with it, I guess. And then once it gets too far, I guess that's where I'll probably have them like trash the convention, like breaking the memorabilias, and they end up fighting the villains. And yeah, so that's really all I had for the idea. All right, so the next episode is another one of my interesting ideas that I came up with, titled Sugar Rush. This is 15B. The girls form a crazy addiction when they discover the professor's energy drink stash in their fridge. So yeah, basically this episode is about the Powerpuff Girls having an addiction to energy drinks when they discover it. Like the reason this even happens is I think the idea that I had originally was like maybe it's like I don't know, like it's a heat wave or something. Like maybe they're outside playing, and because they were playing too much, they were feeling a little thirsty. So one of the girls go into the refrigerator to find something to drink, and that's when they find the energy drinks, and then when they drink it, they basically fall in love with the energy drinks, and so they end up using it at all, and then they want more of it. So another idea that I probably could have came up with, like maybe have the girls go to like a gas station food mart, and they basically steal a pack of energy drinks, and once they drink too much energy drinks, they become very sick from it. And yeah, so that's the idea that I had for the Sugar Rush episode, and I do have a concept screenshot for it. So I will be pulling that up really fast. All right. Okay, so here's the concept screenshot. Yeah, it's not all that interesting. It's just this psychedelic background. You got the girls' eyes and a swirling animation to represent that they're addicted to the caffeine of the energy drinks. So yeah, that's the overall concept, is that the girls have these energy drinks in their hands and they become crazy addicted to it. All right, so that's a Sugar Rush. All right, moving on to episode 16, and that is going to be the finale of season 2 of Fuzzy Wuzzy and All Night Long. So Fuzzy Wuzzy, this is 16A. Fuzzy Lumpkin's twin brother Wuzzy Lumpkins visits, and the two stir up trouble in Townsville. So very basic premise. Fuzzy has a twin brother named Wuzzy. He shows up. The two basically like recap on things, and then they decide to stir up trouble in Townsville. And I actually had this really funny idea where Wuzzy takes Fuzzy and the girls to like this cabin, and I actually have a concept screenshot of this cabin, which features Wuzzy and Buttercup dueling on banjos. I do have a concept screenshot of that I will share. So I will stop screen sharing and actually show that off. All right, so here's the Fuzzy Wuzzy concept screenshot of Fuzzy. No, not Fuzzy. Fuzzy is in the background. You got Wuzzy Lumpkins, who is this. I just took the Fuzzy model or artwork and I just made it orange, and then you got him with Buttercup dueling on banjos. Yeah, I thought that was just one funny concept I had for the episode, and I don't know, it does seem appropriate. So yeah, so that's the concept for the episode, Fuzzy Wuzzy. All right, and finally is All Night Long. I remember you made an update video on. I never made an update video on the Fuzzy Wuzzy episode. You might be thinking of Camp Fuzzy, because that was the only episode I've made an update on, which was the Camp Fuzzy episode. I never made an update video on the Fuzzy Wuzzy episode because I never worked on it. Obviously, because I wasn't at season 2. Obviously, because I was still doing season 1. But yeah. All right, All Night Long. Buttercup pulls an all-nighter for several days straight, which takes a toll on her mental health. So yeah, very basic premise. Buttercup pulls all-nighters, and whenever she tries to do things, um, she becomes very tired. Her body isn't well maintained. Like for example, like one scene I could have had was the girls fighting monsters, and then Buttercup is like way too tired to fight, so she looks all droopy, and then when she tries to fight, she just falls. She just falls to the ground and asleep. So that was one idea I could have came up with. Another idea I could have came up with is that the girls are at school, and then Buttercup falls asleep during the lectures because of her pulling up all nighters. And yeah, so that's the overall concept of the episode. All night long, night spelled with NIT, not NIGHT. I spelled it with the other. I did the other night spelling. And yeah, that's season 2. All right, so now moving on to the final season of the Powerfueled series, season 3. So we got 17A, Fusion Trouble. Blossom and Buttercup are fused together from the professor's latest invention, and trouble ensues when when the girls do their duties. So yeah, Buttercup and Blossom are fused together from the professor's latest invention, and when they try to do their normal crime fighting thing, it becomes very difficult for them. Yeah, so if I were to make this episode, I think an idea I definitely could have came up with, like maybe like a two-headed monster attacks Townsville, and that's when Blossom and Buttercup actually uses their fused transformation to actually take care of the two-headed dragon or the two-headed monster creature. Yeah, that was an idea I could have came up with if I were to worked on the episode. Yeah, that would have been really easy to do. And yeah, that's really all I have to. That's really all I'll add to the Fusion Trouble episode. All right, so now moving on to Funfair of Doom, which I do have a concept screenshot for. The girls visit a strange fun fair, and their day of fun could be their last. So yeah, this was going to be another basic slice of life episode where the Powerpuff Girls, along with the professor, goes to a fun fair to find out that it's very strange looking, and then the whole climax of the episode was going to be about the girls being trapped in the fun fair. They end up kidnapping the professor, and then the girls have to save the professor from the mastermind behind the fun fair, which I will share real quick, which I do have a concept screenshot for. So again, I will pull that up. All right. So yeah, here's the concept screenshot for Funfair of Doom. You got the giant jokester jester with the two hammers. Yeah, because the episode was going to take place inside of this giant circus tent where it's like this black void. And you got this lightning bolt shooting from the background. And yeah, so this was the concept screenshot that I have for the Funfair of Doom episode. And yeah. All right, that was episode 16. Oh, no, 17. I'm sorry. This is episode 17. Sorry. All right. Episode 18, a pickle predicament. The city of Townsville goes under a pickle shortage, and the mayor goes on an adventure to search for more. So yeah, this was actually going to be a mayor-centered episode. And yeah, so as the name suggests of the episode, he goes on an adventure searching for pickles. And that's really all I'll add because I don't know what I could have came up with. But yeah. All right, so we got 18B, Octi Ruined. A Buttercup must buy a new Octi plush for Bubbles when she accidentally ruins the original. So in this episode, Bubbles asks Buttercup if she could watch Octi for her while she's out doing something. And when Buttercup watches Octi, she ends up having this strange relationship with him. So she ends up playing with him to the point where she accidentally destroys Octi, and so she has to find a new Octi plush. As a matter of fact, there is an Octi plush at the store, and this other idea that I had was that it is going to be very similar to those Black Friday things where everyone is like trying to like run into the store to buy this product. And it was going to be, I think it was probably going to be centered around either Princess Morbots or a random child character. But yeah, there was going to be this whole climax where Buttercup goes to the store, finds the Octi plush, and then when she finds that somebody bought it, she basically tries to fight off the person to get it for Bubbles. So yeah, that was the idea that I had for the Octi Ruined episode. All right, so moving on to episode 19, 19A, a wrong number. The girls are receiving strange phone calls from the hotline and fear that the caller could be after them. So yeah, I do have a concept screenshot for this episode, and this episode was going to be a rather dark one because it centers around the girls receiving strange phone calls. They don't know who the caller is, and then the strange caller ends up finding the girls in their house, kidnaps them, and traps them in his whereabouts. So the name of the original character for this episode was titled, I think his name was, yeah, hold on, I do have the article pulled up so I can read off to the character. Yeah, Crazy Max Terry. This will be the name of the character for the episode. You know, I'm getting rid of these freaking VeggieTales impersonator accounts because I don't got time for this. It's literally taking me back to those early days of YouTube when I did streams. All right. Yeah. I'm also blocking you. M64 Bros alt. All right, so here's Crazy Max Terry. He's this guy with a mask, a chainsaw with blood on it, and yeah. And I do have the concept screenshot for the episode, which is right here. So you got the girls tied in chains with tape covering their mouths, and you got Crazy Max Terry about to murder them. And yeah, so that's, and of course, the professor finds out that the girls are missing. He tries to find them, and that's where he finds Crazy Max Terry. And I was going to have this whole fight sequence with Professor and Crazy Max Terry. I thought that would have been really cool. And yeah. Okay, so moving on. Yeah, the live chat is pretty much dead right now. All right, so we got monkey bars. Mojo Jojo becomes a candy salesman when the mayor suggests he should start a new leaf. So yeah, Mojo Jojo becomes a candy salesman, hence the name Monkey Bars, because it was supposed to be my take on like him selling chocolate and a pun on the actual playground equipment, Monkey Bars, hence the name. And so Mojo decides to come up with his own chocolate, and then it becomes a threat to Townsville. That was another idea that I had for the episode, is that Mojo creates his own chocolate, and then the girls infiltrates his lair, shuts down the factory. Yeah, he actually turns his lair into a factory, like a chocolate factory. That was another idea that I had. And the girls basically tear that thing apart. And yeah. All right, so moving on to episode 20. We got 20A. I'm telling. When Blossom breaks the living room TV, she tells Bubbles and Buttercup not to let the professor know. So yeah, again, this is another slice of life, not too much of a serious threat episode where the girls are left alone at the house. Blossom accidentally breaks the living room television, and she tells Bubbles, excuse me, she tells Bubbles and Buttercup not to let the professor know about it. And yeah, so that's really all the episode was going to be about. All right, so we got 20B, Snow Brawled. It's a snowy day in Townsville, and the girls decide to have a snowball fight. So yeah, another basic premise. Yeah, it's a snowy day in Townsville, and the girls decide to have a snowball fight. One of the ideas that I had was Bubbles controlling like a tank, like a snow tank, and then she fires snowballs at Blossom and Buttercup. That would have been another idea that I had for the episode. But yeah. All right, so we got 21A, PC Puffs. The Powerpuff Girls are transported into the world of their new video game to rescue a princess from a pixelated villain. So yeah, I do have a concept screenshot for this episode, which I will share as always. All right, so here's the concept scene for PC Puffs. You got the Powerpuff Girls coming out of their computers. They're like pixelated. You got the pixelated princess, and you have the dragon, the pixelated dragon that was going to be the villain for the episode. And yeah, PC Puffs. The opening for the episode was going to be about the girls going to the store, getting the video game, and they arrive home, and then they actually play their game, and that's when they notice that the princess is in trouble, so they get teleported into their game and they go try to rescue her. So yeah, it was going to be one of those episodes. Wait, I'm not entirely sure if I shared the screen. Codename V5. Can you inform me if I shared the screen of myself showing off the concept screenshot? And if not, then I will go back and share it again, because I went back and I saw that the screen was black, as in I probably forgot to share the screen. But please do let me know if I shared the screen or not. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I'll go and share it again. Hold up. All right, here's the screen. So yeah, here's a concept screenshot. Again, you got the Powerpuff Girls coming out of the computer screen or the monitor. You got the pixelated princess, and you got the dragon that kidnaps the princess in the game, and that's where the girls get transported into their game to save the princess. So yeah. All right, there we go. That's really all I'll share. Yeah, I know your name is Sailor V, but I'm reading you. I'm not. I'm reading the comments through the Streamyard Studio. I'm not reading the comments through the YouTube channel. So yeah, I know you're still Sailor V. All right, so next we have is the bubbly artiste. Bubbles attends an art academy when her art is no. What? Sorry, let me reread that. Bubbles attends an art academy when her art isn't good enough for the Townsville Museum. So yeah, this was going to be another slice of life episode, as in it isn't like a serious threat or like a very serious episode. It's mainly about Bubbles attending an art academy where she can improve on her art, and yeah, that's really all I'll add to the episode. All right, 2020, no, 22A, nuclear warfare. Mojo Jojo plans to nuke the Powerpuff Girls' home for revenge while they're out on vacation. So yeah, yeah, this episode concept is very self-explanatory. Mojo Jojo plans a nuclear warfare to the girls' house while they're out on vacation. This whole episode is going to be this one huge sequence of events of Mojo gathering the equipment for the nuke, building the nuke, and actually sending the nukes to the girls' home. And that's where the Powerpuff Girls has their little spider senses, or their little sense abilities, where they notice that their house is under attack, so they have to fly all the way back home to stop the nuke from blowing up their house. So that's the overall concept of the episode. All right, so episode 22B is Upgrade Upcharge. The Powerpuff Girls gain new powers from an electrical shock and must learn to use them wisely. So yeah, so this episode centers around the Powerpuff Girls gaining new powers, and so they have to learn from their new powers and use them in a more safe way. So that's really all I'll add from the episode. All right, so we have 4 episodes left, and then we will end off the stream. And yes, I don't have any more concept screenshots after these, so yeah. All right, so next up is Bonding at Benny's. This is episode 23A. Professor Utonium takes the girls to Benny's Pizza Palace for family bonding time. So yeah, this was supposed to be like my version of like a Chuck E. Cheese type of restaurant where it has like animatronics. And so yeah, one of the ideas that I have for the episode was that the animatronics are like not working, and so the Powerpuff Girls then have to entertain the Bonnie's Pizza place by performing their own band. So it's kind of like the ending to Mime for a Change, where the girls perform a band to bring the colors back to Townsville. It's kind of like that. And yeah, that's really all I have for the episode, is that it's mainly family bonding time with Professor Utonium and the girls at Benny's Pizza Palace and all that. So yeah. All right, 23B, him in, N as in the hotel. The Powerpuff Girls are booked into a haunted hotel run by him and must cope with their ghostly guest. So yeah, this episode is another him episode where the girls are booked into a hotel ran by him, the Red Devil character, and yeah, so the girls have to basically get along with their guests and all that, and yeah, so that's really what the episode is centered around. All right, so episode 24A, Everything is Blossom. Blossom must save Townsville when Mojo Jojo makes replicas of her signature bow, which makes them behave like her. So yeah, so this what the episode is centered around. Yeah, so Mojo Jojo makes replicas of Blossom's bow, and he plops them around Townsville, or maybe he sells the bow replicas to the citizens. They wear the bows, and then that's where the bows turns them into Blossom. And so and because there are way too many Blossoms, the real Blossom must have to save the day. And finally, we have Operation Bubbles. This is 24B. Mojo Jojo kidnaps Bubbles for a horrific experiment, so Blossom and Buttercup must rescue her. And yes, this is the finale of the Powerfueled series, where it is up to Blossom and Buttercup to rescue Bubbles from a horrific experiment done by Mojo. And yeah, that's it, everyone. Those are all of the episodes that weren't made in the Powerfueled series and what they could have been like. Yeah, I know I really didn't explain too much for the last 2 episodes here, but I really don't have any ideas in mind. But yeah, but in terms of like a horrific experiment, like maybe Bubbles becomes like a hideous monster that attacks the sisters. Like that could have been the horrific experiment, which yeah, that could have been like that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream. So yes, once again, I will be back in December, most likely early December, with my final stream for 2025, and that is going to be on the next flip decks. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, thank you all for coming. I will check the live chat for any last minute questions. Oh, all right. So you guys don't have anything to add. Okay, that's cool. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great weekend, whatever time zone you're from. And I will see you guys later. Wait, hold on. The design looks good. I mean, that's really all I can say. It looks exactly like Yoshi from the game. So that's really all I'll add to it. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great day. And I will see you guys next time.